Hello and welcome back. Why am I talking like this? I have no idea. Let's talk about hair. If you are over 50, over 45, even over 40, and you are in the quest for soft, shiny, bouncy, healthy looking hair, and you're watching a ton of YouTube videos about how to get there and you're confused, then this is the video, especially if you have over shoulder length hair that you color, that you blow dry, that you heat style. All these things are going to stand in the way of your quest for soft, healthy, shiny hair past a certain age. They're going to stand in your way. This video is going to be all about what to do to get shiny, soft hair and not make it super complicated. Just think of it as like a reboot, things that you can make sure that you're doing, because it's not just you. It is harder to get softer, shiny hair past a certain age. Getting older just does that. Our skin gets drier, our nails get drier, our hair gets drier, and we have to be more strategic in what we do to get that gloss and that luster back to our hair. These things I'm going to share with you, they're not going to require a lot of time. There are different products that you can try depending on your budget. I'll give you my suggestions and why I like certain things. Let's make them easy. Let's get you softer, shiny hair. Not perfect hair by any means. My hair is by no means perfect. I'm not a hairdresser. I'm an esthetician and a makeup artist, but I'm 50 years old. I am someone that has pretty much been coloring their hair for the last 25 years, whether it's dyeing it darker, lighter, highlighting it, putting blonde in it. I blow dry, I heat style. I do all these things to make my hair pretty, but if you're not careful and if you're not strategic in your hair care routine and what you're doing, all of that shine and softness is going to go out the window. So let's get into what you need to be doing to get your hair soft and shiny. Okay, the first thing I want you to do is twofold. I want you to add a hair mask to your hair routine and also a leave-in conditioner. You may have used these things in the past. You may have never used them, but these are the two things that you need to have, and I will explain why. Again, if your hair is long, if it is processed in any way, if you are using heat on it in any way, you need to be incorporating these two products into your routine. What you're going to want to do is replace your hair conditioner with a really good hair mask. And the reason is hair masks are so much more effective, so much more hydrating and softening to our hair, especially if you're really battling dullness, brittleness, you want shine back in your hair. A hair mask is going to get you what you want. Don't waste your time with a hair conditioner. You need a really good, strong hair mask that's really going to nourish your hair. There's so many different hair masks. Some are lighter for finer hair so that it won't weigh it down. There are masks for thicker, more coarse hair. Either way, pick one suited for your hair type and use it instead of a conditioner. All you're going to do is in the shower, you're going to put that hair mask on from the mid-lengths down to your ends, and you're going to leave it on for a minimum of 5 minutes. If you want to get fancy, you can leave it on for longer. I've left a hair mask on for a few hours, meaning I've wrapped my head in a plastic cap after I've applied it and gotten out of the shower, gone about my biz for a while, gone back in and rinsed it out. If you want to be fancy pants, you can do that. If you just have 5 minutes, just let it soak in for 5 minutes in the shower. Even up to 10 minutes is great, but you need a hair mask. A hair mask is really going to give you that soft hair that you want. Don't waste your time with regular conditioners. They don't have the nourishing oils and butters and hydrators that a really good hair mask has. My favorite of the moment, I've been using this for about a year now, is the Moroccan Oil Weightless Hydrating Mask. My hair type is a fine to medium, so if I use anything thicker than something like this, my hair feels a bit more weighed down. Obviously, if you have thicker, more coarse hair, this might not do it for you. So just experiment till you find a hair mask that you like. What I will say is if you want to go longer between shampoos, you want to keep a hair mask away from your roots. Don't put a hair mask directly on the roots of your hair. Usually, no matter what hair type you have, don't do it because it's going to weigh your hair down. It's going to make it greasy and it's going to feel oilier quicker. So you're going to feel like you have to wash your hair sooner, which, by the way, is something that you should be doing less of if you want softer, shiny, or bouncier hair. Try to shampoo less often. I made an entire video about how to shampoo your hair properly so that you can go longer between washes so that your hair won't feel as greasy as quick. You have to know what you're doing, how to shampoo properly in order to go longer between shampoos. I have a whole video. I'll link it somewhere here. Brain forgets. Look down in the description of this video and go watch. It's a really good one to show you what to do. You should be using a really good professional strength shampoo and you should be using it correctly. That way you can shampoo less. Also, a lot of shampooing is also going to dull and rough up your hair, which is what you do not want. Ideally, you should be going anywhere from 3 to 5 days in between shampoos. If you are the type of woman who is just basically cringing and throwing stuff at the screen right now because you think that's disgusting and you have to wash your hair every day, I can almost guarantee you're washing your hair incorrectly. You need to get a good hair wash routine down and you will be able to go longer in between shampoos and your hair will thank you. Trust me, don't wash your hair every day if you want soft, shiny, lustrous hair. Okay? Moving on. So after you have applied your hair mask, you've had it on your hair for a minimum of 5 minutes. You've applied it from the mid-lengths all the way down to your ends, avoiding your roots. You've rinsed it out. You're out of the shower. The second part of getting and preserving that moisture in your hair is to use a really good leave-in conditioner. Because when you get out of the shower, as your hair dries, whether you air dry it or heat dry it, it loses moisture quickly. So think of your leave-in conditioner as your sealant. That's what a really good leave-in hair conditioner does. It just leaves all of that moisture intact so that your hair doesn't lose it as it's being dried, whether by the air or a heat styling tool. A really good leave-in conditioner should not weigh your hair down nor make it feel greasy. If you've used a hair conditioner in the past, a leave-in hair conditioner, and felt your hair got greasy or oily quicker and you just didn't like it, more often than not, either the formula was too thick for your hair type and or you used too much of it. So much like a hair mask, there are tons of different leave-in spray-on hair conditioners on the market. Some are lighter for finer hair. Some are thicker for more thick, coarse hair. You have to find the one that works for you. Now this one, I love it for my fine to medium-ish hair. It's the Color Fanatic Phrenology leave-in conditioner. It smells beautiful. And if you use it properly, it's really going to seal in all of that juicy goodness that you got from your hair mask. Now, some people use leave-ins and they spray it all over like this, like hairspray. I really find that to be wasteful. And a lot of times what you end up doing is depositing some of it or too much of it on the crown. And that's what can contribute to that heavy, greasy feeling. A better way to use a leave-in conditioner is just to spray it into the palm of your hand. If your hair is really brittle and dry, especially from the mid-lengths down to the ends, that's where you're going to want to concentrate that leave-in conditioner. And you're going to want to vary how much you use. If you have finer to medium hair, I would say anywhere from 3 to 6 sprays, maybe about the size of a dime in the palm of your hand. Then you want to rub your hands together. And what I like to do is section my hair like this when it's wet. And then I'll go in and then I'll just from the mids all the way down to the ends and I'll just work that in. If I have anything residual left over on the palms, then I just really lightly rub a little bit of what's left just on the top parts of my hair, but I avoid directly applying on the roots. If you have super, super long or thicker and coarser hair and it's super dry, then you can probably get away with about a quarter size amount of leave-in conditioner. That's about 6 to 10-ish sprays. So just experiment. Again, spray it in the palm of your hand, rub your hands together and just very gently distribute that through your hair. And then you want to make sure that it's really worked into your hair properly. So a good way to ensure that is to get yourself a really good wet brush, a brush that's designed to detangle wet hair. And they're all over. They're in Target, Walmart, Amazon. You can get them for $5. You can get them all the way up to $30. Find a good one that's specifically made for wet hair. And then that's when you start working that product in. Very gently detangle your hair, starting from the ends, moving up. That way, it'll really ensure that leave-in is distributed all over the hair and getting where it needs to get in order to prevent that moisture loss. So these two products, a really good hair mask and a really good leave-in conditioner formulated for your hair type, are going to be critical in adding the softness and the moisture into the hair and then preserving that moisture and that softness in the hair. Again, experiment, find the products that work best for you. Don't waste your time with hair conditioners, especially if you have long hair that is chemically treated and that you heat style. You are wasting your time. Get yourself a really good hair mask. Thank me later. Hey, really quick, if you are enjoying the video and finding it helpful, there is no better way to tell me that than to hit the like button. And if you want to stick around and see more, hit subscribe because I've got a lot of really good stuff that I've already filmed and a lot of great stuff coming in the future. Also, like I told you at the beginning of this video, I'm not a hairdresser, but I am a licensed esthetician and I have been one for over 20 years. So if you go into the description of this video, you can join my newsletter. And if you do, I will give you a free resource that I made just for you. And it's called the Skin Reset Guide. If you're unhappy with your skin, if you're dry, if you're dehydrated, if you're finding that your skin is irritated. I talk about mistakes that I see women making in their skincare routines all the time to compromise their skin, kind of like what we've been talking about in this video of, all the things we do to compromise our hair. The Skin Reset Guide is going to make sure that you're doing all the right things so that your skin looks beautiful and soft and it doesn't take a lot of time or cost a lot of money. Sign up for the newsletter. You get the Skin Reset Guide for free. I will link everything in the description. Back to the video. Okay, so now that you have used a really nice hair mask, you've used a really great leave-in conditioner. Oh, and you're not completely stripping your hair by washing it and shampooing it every single day. We've stopped that. You've watched the video about how to wash your hair properly. You've done all that and you're asking me, Jennifer, what else should I be doing? That's simple, that's easy to do, that I can remember to do to keep my hair soft and shiny. I'm glad you asked because this is what else you need to be doing. Now, depending if you're air drying or if you're blow drying. If you're an air dry girl, God love you. I'm so jealous. I wish I could air dry my hair and have it look pretty. If that's where you want to stop and that's all you do, great. You're not exposing your hair to heat and it's not going to experience additional trauma that's going to make it dry and brittle. You air dry, use whatever you want after that mask and that leave-in. But this is for 80% of us or more that blow dry our hair because our hair looks like crap when we air dry it and there's no way we can do it. Or we just don't have time to air dry. We can't be running around with wet hair. What can we do? First of all, I'll tell you what you're probably doing, and that's not using a blow dry cream. Now, this is not a superfluous, unnecessary product that I'm going to tell you to buy just to annoy you. You need a blow dry cream if you are blow drying your hair, and that is on top of a leave-in conditioner. Now, the reason being is that leave-in conditioners are not heat protectants. They are not designed to withstand the heat of a blow dryer. I don't care what the label of your leave-in conditioner says that, it offers heat protection. I want you to completely ignore it because it does not offer heat protection. If you are just air drying, you don't need the heat protection. Your leave-in is great. But if you use that leave-in thinking that it's protecting your hair as you're blow drying it, it's not. The blow dryer it's gonna heat damage your hair over time if you are not using something to give it heat protection. So you need to be using some type of blow dry cream. Blow dry creams, again, if you have a finer hair, use something that's light. If you have a thicker, coarse hair, you can use something heavier. For myself, for my fine to medium-ish hair, my favorite is the Redken Big Blowout. I have actually found that this works for pretty much all different hair types. And the reason why I know is that I've recommended it to so many friends with different types of hair, and they all absolutely love it. Again, it's going to offer you heat protection. It doesn't necessarily have to be this specific one. This is what I like, but you want to stay away from these heat protectant blow drying sprays, like the ones, they'll speed the blow dry time and give you heat protection. Those really don't work, and they leave your hair crunchy and weighed down. I've tried so many of them and they don't really work. You need something that is a little more concentrated in like a cream or lotion form to really protect your hair from the heat. Now, blow dry creams and lotions like leave-in conditioners are really easy to overuse. You can get away with about the size of a dime. Just massage it between your palms and just lightly distribute it all through your hair before you blow dry. If your hair is longer like mine, maybe like the size of a dime and a half, not as big as a quarter. Don't use that much, because remember, you've already masked, you've already done a leave-in. You don't want to do a bunch of extra blow dry cream all over your hair and just weigh it down. Just use less than you think you need. I use about a dime size for my whole head and I'm totally fine. So squirt it in the palm of your hand, really work that product to coat your palms, and then run it all through your hair, the undersides, the tops, the sides, whatever's left you can get along your crown, but don't dig it into the roots or anything. You don't need it there. The idea is you're protecting those vulnerable areas from the mid shaft of your hair all the way down to the ends. And this is what is going to help protect your hair from the heat. Get yourself a good blow dry lotion or cream. It's going to make all the difference. So if you blow dry and your hair care routine stops there, and if you don't use any type of hair tools like a curling iron or a hair straightener, there's only one thing that I want you to add to your routine at this point that's also going to make a difference, and that is using a really good hair oil. There's so many hair oils on the market. Just experiment until you find one that you really like. Some are really light, some are a little thicker, depending on your hair texture, but there's a right way to use a hair oil to keep your hair soft and shiny, and that is don't use too much of it. I'm talking about maybe a drop to 2 maximum. And the way you want to use it is very strategically. You want to put those 1 to 2 drops in the palm of your hand, rub your hands together, and then concentrate your hair oil basically on your ends, on the driest parts of your hair. That's gonna seal the cuticle, that's gonna seal those ends, make them look softer, make them look shinier, and prevent those flyaways and that brittle look. That's really all you need to do to keep everything looking soft and polished. And if you use hot tools like hair straighteners and curling irons, hair oil is going to be even more important for you. And let me show you how you're going to use that in conjunction with one more thing. If you use a curling iron or a hair straightener after you blow dry, the first thing you need to remember is that these heat styling tools are way hotter than your blow dryer. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to add one more thing to your routine if you use a curling iron or a hair straightener. And if you're irritated and you don't want to, you don't have to, but I'm gonna tell you, you're going to risk more dry and brittle hair over time if you don't use a thermal heat protection spray. Now, a thermal heat protection spray is different from a blow dry cream. A blow dry cream just gives volume and fluffiness and heat protection when you're using a blow dryer, but it's not enough to protect the integrity of your hair. If you're using something like this that gets from anywhere from 360 degrees to all the way up to 425 degrees. A blow dry cream is not as strong as a thermal heat protection spray. Those types of products protect your hair from these hot tools. you should run out today and get yourself a thermal heat protectant spray. You're already using a hot tool. You're already going one step beyond that hair dryer in styling your hair. Why not get a really good lightweight heat protectant spray to protect the integrity of your hair strands, because you don't want to scorch your hair. Now, it's not just this extra thing that I'm just saying, hey, do it. You need it because your hair is going to get scorched. Your hair is just going to get so dry and brittle, even if you're doing a mask, even if you're doing the leave-in, and even if you're doing the blow dry cream. Ask yourself, are you using hot tools but not using a thermal heat protectant spray? If your hair is dry and brittle and you're saying, yeah, my hair is dry and brittle and I'm not using this, that's probably why. My favorite is the Kendra Thermal Styling Spray. This stuff actually gives you a little bit of hold in addition to protecting your hair from the heat of these bad boys. So make sure you're using a good heat protectant spray. What I like to do with these types of sprays is you want to use them on sections of your hair. You don't want to spray a heat protectant spray all over your hair. So all you do is you're sectioning your hair anyway to use your curling iron or your straightening iron. What I like to do is as I'm sectioning my hair when I'm styling it, I'll spritz that section once and then I'll use my hands to run down the length of that hair just to make sure that heat protectant is in. If you're feeling that it's thick, like it's goopy, you've sprayed too much. You should be spraying your heat protection, running it down that section of the hair, and not feeling anything. But it shouldn't feel goopy or thick. You've applied too much if that's the case. And after you've sprayed it in, you've just massaged it into that piece, then just go in with your hot tool and you're really gonna protect the integrity of your hair. Heat protectant sprays are really underused. They're used improperly. A lot of women just don't use them, or they see them as something that's unnecessary, but really they not only give light hold, but they protect the integrity of your hair. If you're not using a heat protectant spray, once you start using one, you will see a massive difference in how soft and shiny your hair can be. After you have used your hot styling tool, go in with 1 or 2 drops of your nourishing hair oil, applying it evenly and gently from about the mid lengths all the way to the ends, and that is going to seal the cuticle and give you that shine that you're after. If your hair is a little bit dry and brittle up at the top, you can take what's left after you've worked it into your ends and just gently rub it onto like the top parts, avoiding the roots. But that oil is gonna seal in everything, make it really shiny, and make it really lustrous and beautiful looking. So to recap, we're just talking about 4 basic things that you can do, or I should say up to 4, depending on what you're doing in your hair care routine, that are really gonna make a difference. And it's all about getting that moisture and hydration into the hair and keeping it there and then protecting the hair. So that hair mask, instead of a conditioner, is what is going to get and feed all that moisture into your hair. That's what's gonna just give it that nourishment that it needs. That leave-in conditioner, whichever one you're using, use it properly, but that is what is going to preserve that moisture that you've just put in with your hair mask and prevent it from escaping the hair. Your blow dry creams and your heat protectant sprays are what is going to protect the integrity of your hair if you heat style. Especially as we get older, it's so much easier for hair to get brittle and just look really dull. And then the last product that you want to add to your routine, especially if your hair is shoulder length or longer, is a little bit, really just a little bit of a really good nourishing glossing hair oil. That's going to add shine, that's going to add softness, and that's also going to give you day-to-day protection, especially for your ends that can get really dry and brittle looking. So those are my recommendations to get and keep soft, lustrous, gorgeous hair after age 40, 45, 50, and beyond. So I hope you found this helpful. Comment below if you liked the video. Let me know anything that you learned, anything that you know before watching the video, or if you have a particular product that you think is really awesome that you want to share with everybody. I love reading you guys' comments. Tell me more about what you want to see in the future. I'm so honored and grateful that you chose to spend this time with me today. I will see you again very soon.